The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. It only took us 11 months, but we got here. It's the playoffs. It's the greatest show in sports, and it begins right now. My name is Ron Junkett. Welcome to the program for this fourth day of November. We go back to October 4th, 1988, a Tuesday night. Oh, what a night. For Game 1 between the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. As, yes, there is a National League. And believe it or not, the New York Mets, well, they don't have the worst record of the four playoff teams. They only won 94 games over the course of their season, but yet they had the easiest time getting here. They pretty much had the division wrapped up in April. I don't think once we got enough games in that their lead ever got below 8 games when it mattered. Dwight Gooden, a 19-game winner, gets the call for New York on a beautiful Tuesday night in Cincinnati. The Reds really aren't a surprise to be here. Everyone thought that this was the Dodgers' race to lose, and the Dodgers would like to go back and try to get Oral Hershiser the pitching that he got in real life, because it didn't happen for him in the replay. So the Reds, who won the division by 5 games, gets home field. And technically, they had the better record by half a game or trail it by half a game. Anyway, the Reds are a stacked team. You have Eric Davis, who is a candidate for MVP. You got Cal Daniels, who is a candidate for MVP. You got 2 left-handed pitchers who do nothing but win. You got Danny Jackson going a Game 1 today, who was the National League's only 20-game winner. And you'll have Tom Browning go in Game 2 tomorrow at noon Eastern, which will technically be a day game as far as that's concerned. The Reds have home field, and should they win the series, would have home field in the World Series. It's the National League's turn. So whoever wins this series gets Games 1 and 2 of the World Series at home. Don't sleep on these Reds. They are very good. They are very fast. And they can manufacture runs and hit for power. We'll see what the Mets will do here. Everyone thought in the real NLCS against the Dodgers the Mets would steamroll. I don't think the Mets are steamrolling anybody. They can obviously win the series, but they are very, very even teams. Both of them won 94 over the course of the regular season. So that's the setup for you. It's the Mets and the Reds today. And tomorrow, and we'll begin the ALCS on Wednesday from Fenway Park. So enjoy it. Danny Jackson and Dwight Gooden next. As Retro Sports Network proudly presents the 1988 National League Championship Series. Tonight, from Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, it's Game 1 between the Cincinnati Reds and the New York Mets. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so if you're a fan of pitching, you get the dream matchup. Dwight Gooden for the Mets, Danny Jackson for the Reds. 64 degrees, winds left to right at 6. You can hear Welcome to the Jungle on the sound system here. Icky Woods shuffling off in the stands.
Play ball!
Danny Jackson was a real-life 23-game winner. On the replay, a 20-game winner with an earned run average of 2.05. He got 2/3 of the pitching triple crown. His 2.05 ERA led the National League, and he was the lone 20-game winner in the NL. He struck out 190. Danny, who's actually pitching in his second postseason, by the way, maybe not on the channel, but in real life, he was a rookie when the Royals won the World Series in '85, is still 26. Fastball pitcher, 88, and a standard pitcher. Remember, we're playing the 4th, so he hasn't pitched in a week. His last appearance before the playoffs, a 3-2 loss where he didn't in the decision. He went 9 innings, 136 pitches, 8 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He walked 4 and struck out 6. So his regular season numbers, mighty, mighty impressive. 294 and 2/3, including 2 back-to-back 5-hit shutouts against the Dodgers and the Cubs. And the Cubs led the National League in hitting. Jackson only gave up 235 hits, 80 runs, 67 earned, 15 homers. He walked 90 and struck out 190. Against the Mets, 2 starts, 14 innings, 15 hits, 7 runs all earned. He walked 9, struck out 13. They split the difference in his 2 starts with an earned run average of 4.5. Here's how the Mets will line up. Mookie Wilson leads off in center field. These are my lineups. These aren't any real lineups. How you doing, Big Dave? This should be. They both of these series on paper are quite even. Kevin McReynolds will bat second and play left field. Randy Dykstra will play center once the Reds go with a right-hander. It is lefty today with Jackson and Browning as a lefty, so Mookie Wilson gets the call. Darryl Strawberry will play right and go third. Keith Hernandez cleans up at first. Gary Carter behind the plate will bat fifth. Howard Johnson gets the call at third. He'll go sixth. If he struggles, Greg Jeffries is up. Wally Backman at second will bat seventh. Kevin Elster at short batting eighth, and Dwight Gooden on the mound will bat ninth. Jackson is a 7 on the mound, and again, he can go as long as the Reds want him to go. Defensively for the Reds, Cal Daniels is a 4 and a 6 in left. Eric Davis is a 10 and a 2 in center. Paul O'Neill is a 5 and a 7 in right. Chris Sabo a 7 at third. Barry Larkin a 7 at short. Ron Oster a 6 at second. Nick Osaski a 4 at first. Jeff Reed, if there's a weak spot for the Reds in the lineup, it's their catcher. He's a 7 and a 4. And Jackson is 7 on the mound with a .954 fielding percentage. Mookie Wilson on the real year, 296, 8 homers, and 41 RBI. And so this postseason starts with a fly ball to left. Daniels moving over, 1 out. And as McReynolds steps in, here is a look at the replay numbers for the Mets. That didn't work. Just to give you some indication of how well they hit and all that. McReynolds, 288, 27 homers, and 99 RBI on the real year. Jackson delivers. Struck him out. Danny's going to do quite a bit of that. An 0-2 fastball got him looking. 2 out for Darryl Strawberry, who on the real year hit 39 homers and hit 269. On the replay, not quite as powerful. He hit 244, 33 homers, which led the National League, and his 103 RBI was fourth. Pitch to Strawberry. There's a ground ball. Oster on the pit, throws to first, and that will do it for the Mets in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. On a beautiful night here at Riverfront, no score. So Dwight Gooden, who, remember, is only 24 years old. This is his 5th full season. Rookie of the Year in 84, Cy Young Award winner in 85, star of that 86 team. He is 24, a ground ball pitcher, and a fastball pitcher at 94. He actually pitched a lot better on the replay than he did in real life. He went 19-9 with a 2.43 ERA. Second only behind Danny Jackson in wins. Third in ERA, and his 205 strikeouts was good for fourth. He hasn't pitched in nearly a week. He went on the 28th, in a 10-2 thrashing of Philadelphia in his playoff tune-up. 8 innings, 142 pitches, 7 hits, 1 unearned run. He walked 2 and struck out 12. So in 263 innings, the Doctors allowed 249 hits, 86 runs, 71 of them earned, 9 homers. He has walked 63 and struck out 205. Against these Reds, 2 regular season wins, 16 and a third, 16 hits, 6 runs, all earned. He walked 5 and struck out 10. Here's how the Redlegs will line up for this. Barry Larkin leads off at short. Chris Sabo at third will bat second. Eric Davis in center will go third. Cal Daniels cleans up and left. Nick Asaski at first will bat fifth. Paul O'Neill in right will bat sixth for Pete Rose's Reds. Ron Oster at second, batting seventh. Again, Jeff Reed, the weak spot in the order, behind the plate batting eighth, and Danny Jackson will stand there and look pretty, batting ninth on the mound. Dwight Gooden, again, no real pitch count for him. He'll go as long as he's effective for the Mets. Defensively for New York, Kevin McReynolds a 5 and a 9 in left. Mookie Wilson a 6 and a 3 in center. Darryl Strawberry is a 6 and a 7 in right. Howard Johnson a 3 at third. Kevin Elster a 5 at short. Wally Backman a 3 at second. This is not a good defensive infield for the Mets. Keith Hernandez is a 10 at first. Gary Carter an 8 and a 5 behind the plate. And Gooden is a 7 on the mound with a .943 fielding percentage. Larkin on the real year, .296, 12 homers, and 56 RBI. Gooden starts his effort with a ground ball to Backman. Wally throws to first, and that's how this one starts, 1 away. Chris Sabo at .271, 11 homers, and 44 RBI. Had 46 real-life steals. So the Reds can beat you with their legs, they can beat you with their bat, and if Browning and Jackson have their way, they can beat you with their arms. Pitch to Sabo. There's a fly ball to right. Strawberry moving over, and there are 2 outs for Eric Davis. Davis is going to be the key for the Reds. He had 60 more plate appearances than he did in real life. He hit 32 homers. He drove in 115. That led the National League, and his average was .288. So 11th in batting average, 4th in homers. He led the NL in RBI, and his 37 steals was good enough for 11th. And so he is the X factor for Cincinnati. Gooden winds and fires, and it gets away from Carter on strike 3. They throw down to Hernandez, and that'll take care of the Reds. Half an inning in the books, no score. So Hernandez, Carter, and Johnson. Keith on the real year was hurt a lot. .276, 11 homers, which is very good in 348 at-bats. And 55 RBI. On the replay, he hit 14 homers and hit .301 while driving in 63. He missed most of June and all of July. Danny deals, and Hernandez draws the walk, and that's the first base runner of the series. Gary Carter at .242, 11 homers and 46 RBI. You're talking about Eric Davis, the career he would have had if he'd stayed healthy and stayed away from the snow, too. So the Mets had the first base runner of the series with Hernandez. Pitch to Carter. Right back to Jackson. Did Carter bunt? I think Gary bunted. He did. It's a sacrifice. Wow. Davy Johnson awake already. My word. So Gary Carter, a sac bunt for Howard Johnson. Hojo on the real year, .230, 24 homers and 68 RBI. Hit 20 homers in the replay, drove in 75, and hit .223. the Mets have Greg Jeffries in reserve. Pitch to Howard. There's a fly ball to right. O'Neill moving over and will make the catch. What the heck was Davis doing? O'Neill makes a sliding catch for the second out. Eric Davis was having a conversation with Danny Jackson. Wally Backman hitting .303 and 17 RBI in limited duty. It's a switch hitter. But he gets the call here in game 1 against the lefty. Pitch from Jackson. There's a ground ball to third. Sabo snares it up. Long throw to first. And that will do it. Backman is retired. Another great defensive play for the Reds. They've made 2 in 2 innings. And this crowd is loving it. Inning and a half in the books, no score. So Cal Daniels, who played in 159 games, only played in 140, had a fantastic year. 36 steals. He hit .294, 21 homers, and 83 RBI. Gooden threw all of 7 pitches in the first. Fouls it off the mask of Carter. Gary, they ask him where he is. He says Miami, and they say close enough. And it's a 1-strike count. Gooden in a hurry deals. That's a base hit left center. Wilson throws it in, and Daniels has the first hit of the postseason, a double. For Nick Esaski, who hit .243 on the real year, 15 homers and 62 RBI. Opening 2 here in Riverfront in Cincinnati. Over the middle 3 will be in New York. Ron Darling will go game 3 for the Mets. Not sure who will go for the Reds yet. It'll be Cone and Browning tomorrow in game 2. Esaski lines this to left. That's going to drop in front of McReynolds. Daniels should round. Nope, a good throw from Kevin. Holds everybody to 1 base. So runners on the corners, nobody out for Paul O'Neill. Paulie at .252, 16 homers and 73 RBI. And he draws the walk. So Gooden has him loaded here in the second. Nobody out for Ron Oster. Oster in limited duty. Only played in 60 games. Drove in 14. He hit .280. But has a chance here to put some damage on the board. Oster, one of those players that kind of transcended the eras. He wasn't part of the big red machine, and he really wasn't much of a factor in 1990, I don't think. And so Oster's been waiting a long time for this moment. Pitch to Ron. There's a line drive right to Gooden, and everybody has to scamper back 1 out. All that for nothing, Ron. Here's Jeff Reed. In real life, coming over from the Expos, .232 with the Reds, a homer and 7 RBI. Gooden deals. Bases loaded. Ground ball to Elster. This is going to be interesting. He goes to Backman for 1, but Reed is going to reach as O'Neill did enough to disrupt the throw, and the Reds go up 1-0. For Danny Jackson, 144 and 6 RBI. So the Reds are up 1-0. Pretty good start for the Reds. Sparky Anderson, by the way, threw out the first pitch. Pitch to Danny. Struck him out. Gooden's out of it. Oh, 1-2 fastball got him looking, but not before the Reds get a run on 2 hits. They've left on 2, and after 2 in game 1, it's the Reds 1, the Mets nothing. So Elster, Gooden, and Wilson to face Jackson here in the 3rd. Kevin, again, not Rafael Santana, hitting .214, 9 homers, and 37 RBI. Jackson starts the 3rd. Ground ball to Sabo. He'll throw it over to Asaski. Elster's scrambling, and he is safe on a bang-banger. So the Mets have a hit. Gooden should bunt here at 178. He did homer. Actually, I think he homered in the replay, too. And 9 RBI. He squares. Sabo grabs it. Only play is to first, and Gooden gets out. 5-4 on the bunt. Elster moves up to second. Opening 9 for Jackson. 32 pitches. 2 1/3. A hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Mookie Wilson's 0 for 1. Walked him. So the Mets got something cooking here in the third. First and second, 1 out for Kevin Elster, who struck out. Nick Reynolds, in his first year in New York, hit .290, 28 homers, and drove in 103. Jackson deals. Walked him, and so now they have the bases loaded, and 1 out for Darryl Strawberry. And you think of the straw that stirs the drink being Reggie Jackson. Well, here's the real straw that stirs the drink in New York in the 80s. Darryl Strawberry. He's 0 for 1 today. Pitch to Darryl. Bases loaded. Fly ball to right. Back goes O'Neill. That will score Elster. Paulie makes the catch. Elster will tag. And here comes the throw to the plate. It's a good throw. Elster slides under the tag, and he is out safe. He is safe, and it's a 1-1 game. So the Mets tied up. 2 out for Keith Hernandez, who walked his first time up. So no shutdown inning for Danny Jackson. Second and third, Hernandez into right center. Davis waits for it, makes the catch, and that'll do. The Mets get the tying run on a hit and no errors. Bottom of the third here in Cincinnati. Reds 1, Mets 1. So Dwight Gooden, opening 9, 31 pitches, 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. It'll be Larkin, Sabo, and Davis to face Gooden here in the third. Barry is 0 for 1. Base hit left field. Or right field, because Strawberry's a right fielder. So Larkin is on for Chris Sabo, who's 0 for 1. Third hit for the Reds. See what Gooden does with Larkin. He throws to first, which is why I didn't go, and Barry is back. The Reds are going to hit and run here. Runner goes. Sabo hits a ground ball to Backman. Larkin's going to reach. Sabo is sprinting down the line, but they're going to get him. So Larkin moves to second. 1 out for Davis. Eric struck out his first time up. Nervous, quiet crowd here at Riverfront. Reds got a run in the second. Mets got a run in the third. Struck him out. Gooden got him again. An 0-2 fastball. He reared back at 96. It got Davis to chase. 2 out for Cal Daniels, who doubled and scored in the second. Always a nervous energy when a playoff series starts. You don't know what these two teams are going to do against each other. On the season series, the Mets won it 7-4. They must have had a game that was rained out. Here at Riverfront, Mets took 3 of 5. Should be a good series, Gus. And outscored. Really? The Mets outscored the Reds. No, the Reds outscored the Mets. 54-48. 2 out. Pitch to Daniels. Base hit right center field. Strawberry will grab it. Larkin just isn't going to stop. Backman should have had that. The papers are already printing columns about whether Greg Jeffrey should have been there. And the Reds go up 2-1. Backman didn't backpedal enough. He didn't time his leap very well either. And they got down for a base hit. So here's Asaski who singled. The Reds go up 2-1. Gooden throws to Hernandez, and Daniels is back. So again, the Reds play well in this park. Again, they can power. In fact, for left-handed batters, it's a 89% advantage for home runs. Keep that in mind for Strawberry and Hernandez as these two games go along. There's a slow ground ball to third. Hojo has it. He'll go over to Hernandez, and Asaski is retired. So the Reds pull back ahead. They get a run on 2 hits and no errors. We go to the 4th in Game 1. Cincinnati 2, New York 1. For Carter, who had a sacrifice bunt his first time up, Johnson and Backman to face Danny Jackson here in the 4th. Carter into left center. Davis. 1 out. For Howard Johnson, who's 0 for 1. Danny Jackson, the odds-on favorite to win the Cy Young Award in the National League. Pitch to Hojo. Fly ball left center field. Back goes Cal Daniels. And he keeps the home fires burning by making that catch. I was going to say before that, Cy Young Award winners in our postseasons do really, really well. Steve Rogers in 1982 for the Expos shut down the Dodgers in the NLCS and then got 2 wins, I believe, in that World Series 6 years ago. And 2 years ago, when we did 85, it was the House of Tudor. He was the irresistible force and the immovable object. Wally Backman is 0 for 1. So Jackson, ground ball to first. Asaski is there. He'll take it to the bag for the out. Hopes to follow in the footsteps of Rogers and Tudor as far as our history is concerned. 3.5 in the books, 2-1 Cincinnati. So here are the final standings in the National League stats. The computer gives Danny Jackson the Cy Young Award. He led the NL and ERA. He led the National League in wins. Nolan Ryan led the NL in strikeouts. You'll see David Cohn in this series, I believe, tomorrow. What you're not going to see is a lot of Reds, except for in the All-Stars. Larkin, Daniels, and Davis. Again, half a game separated these two teams. And the 2 best records in baseball are actually in the American League. O'Neill walked his first time up. How you doing? Hope you are well. Gaylord Perry replay going strong on his channel. Pitch to O'Neill. Fly ball to right. Strawberry coming in. Makes the catch. 1 out for Oster, who's 0 for 1. Gooden on the wrong end of a 2-1 score here in the 4th. Slow chopper down to Hernandez. He waits for Gooden to cover. Dwight puts out the glove, and Oster is retired 2 away. For Jeff Reed, who picked up that RBI on the fielder's choice. Danny Jackson has only allowed 1 hit through 4. Gooden has allowed 4. Pitch to Reed. Walked him. First walk of the game. No, second walk of the game for Gooden. So here's Danny Jackson. Danny has struck out. He's 0 for 1. I think pitching-wise, the Reds had the advantage. Their bullpen is solid, too. Pitch to Danny. There's a ground ball to first. Hernandez takes it to the bag for the out, and that will do it. We've played 4. No runs, no hits. The Reds have left on 4. And we go to the 5th in Game 1, 2-1 Cincinnati. So Elster, who, believe it or not, has the lone hit of the ball game for the Mets. Gooden and Wilson here in the 5th. And a cache of videos uploaded and finally did over the weekend. Tribe fan has another Perry game in the can. Hope to film another tonight. But you got to get up at dark 30 tomorrow. Gets that train to Cleveland. If I was to go, if this was the real life series, I'd have given the edge to the Mets for a couple of reasons. A, experience. That core is there from '86. And B, it was not a harmonious Reds team either. However, I like the Reds pitching in this series. Pitch to Elster. Popped up. Larkin. It's a rainmaker. And Barry is there. 1 out for Gooden, who won it his first time up. There's a line drive to a Saski. 2 out for Mookie Wilson, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. So Jackson, 18 batters, 65 pitches, 4 2/3. The 1 hit, he has walked 3 and struck out 1. You go 8 or you go 7, that's all you're asking for. John Franco is capable of getting you 6 outs and putting games away. Mookie into left center, and that's a base hit. So Wilson's on with a single. 2 out for McReynolds, who has walked and struck out. In the right center, Davis moving over, and that will take us to the commercial break. Halfway home on a 47-degree day in Burlington, Vermont. It's the Reds 2, the Mets 1. Well, you kind of figured this one was going to be tight. And Game 1 has not been a disappointment of this National League Championship Series. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Reds. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Mets. If you joined us late, where the hell were you at noon Eastern time? Jeff Reed, a fielder's choice to make a 1-0 Reds in the second. Darryl Strawberry, a sac fly in the third to tie the ball game. And then Cal Daniels, an RBI single to score Barry Larkin in the third to make it 2-1. We expected this one to be a pitcher's duel, and that's exactly what it's done. Dwight Gooden, a 4-hitter through 4. 2 runs, both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Danny Jackson, a 2-hitter through 5. The run is earned, and he has walked 3. The rest of Gooden's numbers, 57 pitches, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Both the runs are earned. Barry Larkin singled and scored. He's 1 for 2. Walked him. So Gooden not happy with that call. A 3-1 changeup just missed. Third walk for Gooden. Game 2 of the series, noon Eastern tomorrow. Chris Sabo is 0 for 2. The American League Championship Series will start Wednesday. And then no stream on Thursday. And Friday, I expect to do a day-nighter. Throw to first. And Larkin is back. And Larkin's going to go. So Carter just won't even throw. So Barry is given the gift to second base. First steal of the series. It will not be the Reds' last steal of the series. I guarantee you that. So a 1-strike count to Sabo. And Larkin, a big insurance run already in scoring position. Chris is 0 for 2. How you doing, Scotty? There are goats out there in the outfield, and they're wearing Seattle Sounders shirts. Pitch to Sabo. There's a base hit into center field. Larkin's going to round third, I would think. Yep. Here he comes, and Mookie Wilson's throw is going to go in the infield. It's 3-1 Reds. So the Reds manufacture one there. And they have touched Gooden up now for 3. Here's Eric Davis. He gets struck out twice. Pitch to Davis. Struck him out. That's 4 for Gooden. Davis is struck out again. He has fanned all 3 times up. He chased a 2-2 curve. Cal Daniels has singled, doubled, driven in a run, and scored. 1 out. Sabo on first. Bottom of the 5th. Reds 3, Mets 1. Pitch, throw to first, and Sabo is back. Now they'll go to the plate. Daniels, ground ball to first. Hernandez, Elster for 1. Back to Hernandez, and it is a 3-6-3 double play. However, the Reds get a run on a hit and no errors. We go to the 6th in game 1. Reds 3, Mets 1. So Strawberry, who had a sac fly in the 3rd, Hernandez and Carter to face Danny Jackson here. Strawberry to first. Asaski, 1 out. Keith Hernandez is 0 for 1 with a walk. It should be Bobby Ojeda tomorrow, and then I'll give you and then David Cohn and Ron Darling once we get back to New York. If you look at the Mets pen, Randy Myers on full rest. You could see Sid Fernandez in long relief too. Keith Hernandez 0 for 1 with a walk. As I got an eyelash in my eye. That's fun. Pitch to Hernandez. Fly ball right field. O'Neill will make the catch. 2 out. Gary Carter 0 for 1 for the Reds. You got Browning tomorrow. And then you could use a Rio for game 3. Then you got options for game 4. You could go with Jackson or Ron Robinson. John Franco and Frank Williams and Rob Dibble. So the Reds' pen is in pretty good shape. Franco can get you 25 pitches. 5 outs, I would think. Here's Gary Carter, who's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Struck him out. Danny Jackson says, I'll take care of this myself. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the 6th here in game 1. Reds 3, Mets 1. So Asaski, O'Neill, and Oster. How you doing, RJL? Playing some strat hockey last night. Asaski singled his last time up. Gooden gets his 5th. An 0-2 changeup just below the belt for Paul O'Neill, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Right back to Gooden. Over to Hernandez. And there's 2 out for Ron Oster, who is 0 for 2. As we said, regardless of who wins this series, the World Series itself will start at the winner. Wind's blowing out to left center now at 6 and 59 degrees. Not quite cool enough to be blowing on your hands as Gooden deals. There's a ground ball past Hernandez down the line, And Oster's going to be into second with a double. So again, Oster has waited a long time for this moment, and he's going to make it all count as much as he can. Jeff Reed has an RBI and a walk. Pitch to Reed. Struck him out. 6 for Gooden. So Dwight has done all right. That's actually a quality start for both pitchers. But the Mets need to do something here. No runs, a hit, and no errors. Reds have left on 5, Mets 4. But the Reds lead at 3-1. So Howard Johnson, Wally Backman, and Kevin Elster to face Jackson here in the 7th. Got him. That's only 3 for Jackson. 0-1-2 fastball into the knees. Strike 3. For Wally Backman, who's 0 for 2. And Greg Jeffries will pinch hit. So Jeffries, who was brought up just before the deadline on August 28th, makes his postseason debut. On the replay, he hit 4 home runs, drove in 16, and hit .324. And so the man that they call Pugsley is considered the real deal in New York. Jackson winds and fires. Fly ball left field. Back goes Cal Daniels, and it's a 3-2 game. Welcome to October, Greg Jeffries. A pinch hit home run. Well, that's pretty good. On the 3rd pitch you see in your postseason life, you smash it out of here. Daniels just kind of hoped it went foul, and it did not. Yeah, what a way there, Cody, to make himself popular. My word. You know, the thing with Jeffries is he had a pretty good career in Philadelphia and St. Louis. Kevin Elster's 1 for 2. He's got himself a single and a run scored. So a 1-run game. That's only the 3rd hit for the Mets. And Elster, of all people, has one of them. Jeffries was a solid player. Absolutely. Ground ball to Jackson, over to Osaski, and Elster's rehired. And if you pardon me for a minute, to steal a line out of Foreigner's book, Jeffries was a back page hero. Sing it just like that. Back page hero. Cody says, I was going to say, as a Cardinals fan that was too young to see much of his time in the city, he had a solid reputation. Yep, he was a good player. He was not the second coming of anybody. He was certainly the best batting prospect the Mets had since Darryl Strawberry. Gooden, by the way, 0 for 1. Don't give up my day job. When the dog starts giving you crap. Yeah. Gooden stays in the ball game. Ground ball to 3rd. Sabo's got it over to Osaski for the out. I'm surprised that no one ever did that, especially in the 80s. Stretch time, 3-2 Reds. I'm sure I get more crap from my cat. Yes. Yes, I do, than you do from your dog. Good timing on that because she started to be out the door. Good job with that. Tribe fan says anyone that can last 10 plus years, I don't care what his stats are, yeah, you're not a slouch. We will leave Danny Jackson in. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. I mean, the thing with Jeffries, he stays in the game, by the way. And here's a 2. Let's set the defense for you. McReynolds in left, Mookie in center, Strawberry in right. Hojo at third, Elster at short, Jeffries now at second with that home run, and Hernandez at first. Is that, maybe Strawberry. I think you got to go back to the Yankees and Joe Pepitone to find someone who was completely unproven to come up with that kind of pressure on him in that city. I mean, they really thought that Jeffries was, headed for Cooperstown. Pitch to Jackson. Struck him out. That's 7 for Gooden. An 0-2 fastball outside. So 27 batters deep for Dwight. 91 pitches, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Larkin has scored twice. He has walked, singled, and stolen a base. He's 1 for 2. Base hit, left center field. Mookie will throw it back in, and that's a single. So that's the 7th hit for the Reds. There's Sabo. Chris is 1 for 3. He has singled and driven in a run. Gooden this time will throw to first, and Larkin is back. And now, do you? We hit and run the last time. You know what? We're doing it again. Runner goes. Sabo swings. Ground ball to Elster. Kevin's only play is to first, and Sabo is retired. So Larkin moves into scoring position, 2 out for Eric Davis, who's had himself a rough day. He has struck out 3 times. You look at Larkin there on second. I think you send him. We do. Carter kind of taken off guard. The throw down to third, and Larkin has it stolen. So Larkin steals 2, and he's 90 feet away and is going to dance right on the corner of Dwight Gooden's eye. So here's Davis. He's a big run on third, and Davis, again, led the National League in RBI in the replay. Pitch to Eric, popped up. Carter to the screen. Is he going to have room? No, but it is an 0-2 count. And Davis isn't going to get into the good graces of Pete Rose if he strikes out again. He's struck out all 3 times tonight. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, right side, base hit. Larkin will score. That's a huge run. So Jeffries, he giveth at the plate and taketh in the field. So Wally Backman, sitting in the Mets dugout, kind of smirks to himself. And that'll bring up Cal Daniels. He singled, doubled, scored, and driven in a run. And the Reds take a 4-2 lead. Davis daring Gooden to throw over. He does. And Davis is back. And there's no question what Davis is going to do. The wings of Mercury are firmly attached. There he goes. Carter throws down to Elster, and Davis has the steal. So we told you the Reds are going to run. And that is their 3rd stolen base of Game 1. And so with a 1 strike count and 2 out, Daniels has a man in scoring position. And a 4-2 lead. And they're going to walk Daniels for Nick Asaski, who is 1 for 3 with a strikeout. I blame Gus the Wonder Dog for the cat giving me grief through the doorway. So you look at the bench here. 280. You got Lenny Harris. Now we'll stick with it. Musaski quite happy for it. Good now, over 100 pitches. 2 out, 7th inning. Walked him. Guilty. So they're loaded now for Paul O'Neill, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. So for the second time today, the Reds have him loaded. Gooden on a 57-degree night takes a deep breath. Here we go. Ground ball to Elster. Takes it to the bag for 1, and that's all they needed. And so the Reds get 1 on 2 hits. They'll leave him loaded. Still a big run after 7. Reds 4 rather, Mets 2. Scotty going on with the point about Joe Pepitone. Came up when the Yankees had Moose Skowron at first. The local Italian salsa club offered to break Moose's leg so Joe could get more time. The Yanks quickly shipped him to the Dodgers. He had some good years for you guys in L.A. too. So Jackson, 27 batters, 92 pitches. This will be his last inning because he's due up 3rd in the 8th. 7 innings, 3 hits. The home run to Jeffries. He has walked 3 and struck out 3. Mookie, 1 for 2 with a walk. Stays in the game. Ground ball to Larkin. Over to Musaski. 1 out. For McReynolds is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. Into center, Davis. 2 away. So 2 out for Strawberry, who's 0 for 2 with an RBI. So Danny Jackson, he's not going to go the distance. You got John Franco. You use John Franco. But if you're a Reds fan, you're going to love how this one's gone so far. Pitch to Strawberry. Line drive to Oster. And it's 8 strong for Danny Jackson. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the 9th in a 4-2 ball game. Yeah, that swing was pretty. So Oster, Reed, and then a pinch hitter. Gooden has not pitched a great game, but he hadn't pitched a bad game. Oster 1 for 3 with a double. Ground ball to Jeffries. Throw to first, 1 out. For Jeff Reed, walked, struck out, sac fly, 0 for 2. Fly ball, left center. In comes Mookie. Rides a Schwinn, makes the catch, 2 out. And so it'll be Lenny Harris, who played in 18 games. Really shouldn't be eligible for the playoffs, but he is. Drove in 3. Hit 289. 372 on the real year with ARBI. Pitch from Gooden. Base hit left field. So a pinch hit single for Barry Larkin now. 2 for 3. Barry has singled twice. He has walked. He has stolen 2 bases and scored 3 times. In RJL's 88, the Dodgers didn't make his expanded playoffs either. I think one of those things is that it's so hard to replicate exact pitching performances, as in you can't. And as good as Gibson was, I mean, you can't blame Kirk Gibson for what happened in my replay, or Rick Dempsey for that matter, but they just couldn't. I mean, remember, quick simming games during streams, and the Braves were beating Orel Hershiser, okay? He just couldn't do it. He just could not do it. Pitch to Larkin, throw to first. Remind us again who you got in your World Series. And they throw back, and Lenny Harris is going to take second because Gooden threw it away. They tried to get Harris sleeping, and instead he goes to second because Gooden overthrew Hernandez. So another runner in scoring position. We haven't even thrown a pitch to Barry Larkin yet to make sure that I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's why we play the games. Carter tries to calm down Gooden. There goes Harris. Ground ball to second. Jeffries by the bag over to Hernandez for the out. And Harris is done. So we go to the ninth. They get a hit and an error and cannot score. And so Hernandez, Carter, and Johnson to face one John Franco. Not all games are perfect. Oh, the Yankees over the Expos. I can see that. Yankees in 5 over the Expos. So no A's, no Mets, no Dodgers. John Franco is 28. He eventually in time will be a hero in Queens, but not this year. He is an extreme ground ball pitcher. And a fastball at 87. That's why we mentioned the Goats are wearing Sounders uniforms, Scotty. He is 6th in saves. He last pitched 2 days ago on Sunday and picked up the win in a 6-3 win over the Braves. Inning in 2/3, 26 pitches, a hit, and a strikeout. Overall, 68 innings, 52 hits, 11 runs, 10 earned. A home run. He walked 19 and struck out 47 in picking up 29 saves, which was good for 6th in the National League. Against the Mets, did not have a save. 2 1/3 and a hit, and that's it. So Hernandez, maybe Carter, and Johnson. Keith 0 for 2 with a walk. Franco trying to lock this one down. Mets need 2 to tie, 3 to go ahead. And Timmy Tuffle's going to pinch hit. Timmy at 234 on the real year. 4 homers and 31 RBI. Franco starts the 9th. Right back to John, over to Asaski for the out, 1 away. Game 2, this time tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Gary Carter, 0 for 2. He has sacrificed and struck out. Franco, 1 pitch, 1 out. Danny Jackson held the Mets to 3 hits. Pitch to Carter. Base hit left field, and the tying run is coming up to the plate. And Howard Johnson. Now, they've already used Tuffle, and Jeffries is on deck. They've already used him as well. Ojo is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Carter on first, 1 out. That's only the 4th hit for the Mets. Some fingernails getting chewed here at Riverfront. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Left side, Daniels reaching over, 2 out. He was in foul territory, and Steve Bartman is asleep in his crib. 2 out, last chance saloon is the kid, Greg Jeffries. Kid, don't strike out. So last chance saloon, Franco does some gardening on the mound. 56 degrees, wind blowing out to left center. Jeffries homered in his playoff debut. The script writers are ready. Franco, 1 out away. Carter, a leisurely lead off at first. Franco deals. Base hit up the middle. And the Mets aren't done yet. Carter goes to 3rd. His run really doesn't matter. Davis kind of lollygagged that throw in, and so it's Kevin Elster, who does have 9 home runs on the real year, and he hit 9 in the replay. Actually hit 9 points better. So 1st and 3rd, 2 out. And Franco again getting his bearings. So Carter on 3rd. Jeffries, they'll let him steal. And Dave Magadan is going to, Here comes Dave Magadan. Magadan, who is a good first baseman as well, hit .252 on the replay, did not homer, 13 doubles and 35 RBI. As a pinch hitter, he went 8 for 25. It's amazing what this game keeps track of. Midlife crisis coming in at the last moment. So the tying run is on first in Jeffries. The go-ahead run is at the plate. But it is lefty versus lefty, and it is John Franco. So once again, Franco gets the sign, and Reed and Franco will have a word. Here we go. To short. Larkin stabs it over to Oster, and the Reds win it. Larkin bails out John Franco. He robs Dave Magadan of a single, and the Reds take game 1, 4-2. So the good folks at ABC are happy with that. They're off the air before the 11 o'clock news. 2 hours and 42 fake minutes. The Reds take game 1, 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left on 9. The Mets, 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error. And they left on 6. Dwight Gooden, not a great effort. He does go the distance. 8 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs all earned, 5 walks or killer, 7 strikeouts. For the Reds, Danny Jackson, 8 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs both earned. The home run from Greg Jeffries in his postseason debut. Like the third pitch. He walked 3 and struck out 3. Could have gone the distance. And Franco threw 16 pitches and got the save. I'm going to give Barry Larkin the Digital Dice MVP. He scored 3 of the Reds' 4 runs and stole 2 bases. And so that will do it for game number 1. These two teams noon tomorrow for game 2. It'll be Bobby Ojeda for the Mets and Tom Browning for the Reds. Lefty versus lefty, with the Reds holding a 1-0 lead. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow for these two teams, and then the NLCS will begin Wednesday at noon. Until tomorrow, I'm Ron Juckett. Final score here from Riverfront: the Reds 2, the Mets 1. So long, everybody.